I would suggest that we start with Franscisco Pinto Balsemão, who is not only the biggest shareholder and chairman and CEO of Impresa Group, but also the chairman of the European Association of Publishers. So I'd like, to give the floor to Franscisco Pinto Balsemão. Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. It's a pleasure to be with you again, Professor Picard. I think your book brings a lot of intelligent and good advice for all of us who are connected with the media or with communication science, and also a lot of questions that it will be useful to try and honestly answer. And among the good advice, you go from more general questions or items like value. I think it's the word more written in all the book, if we make a statistic, to very concrete things, as one of the you mentioned in the last part of your speech, whose customers are they belonging to Amazon, or are they belonging to me? Are they belonging to the iPad, or are they belonging to us publishers? And this is not yet solved, because at least what I know is that the last proposals of Amazon concerning the Kindle is that they want to keep 70% of the income, and they want to keep the database of my readers with them. So I think it's a very useful book, but I'd like to raise some questions which are connected at least with what you say. First of all, news and opinion. Is there no difference between what I call news and what can be called rumors? Rumors, lies, half-truths launched on the internet by anybody, in many cases by people who don't give their name, who don't have apparently any professional capacity or preparation for that, and that use nicknames and that cowardly remain anonymous. Are we putting everything in the same basket? And I think we are risking to do that. And the same applies to opinion. How long does it take to build a reputation, a credibility as a columnist? Is there no difference between respected columnist? Is there no difference between Fred Zacharias or Thomas Freedom and an instant blogger or an instant tweeter? And there again, the trend is to put everything in the same basket and to give the same importance, the same value to both of them. And then you mentioned also the altering of the communication process. I think it's exactly how you wrote it. Does this change so much? Does the altering of the communication process alter so much the difference between news and rumors, between serious opinion and instant blogging? Very recently, President Clinton said he doesn't read newspapers, but he reads the Huffington Post and the Daily Beast to be informed. What does that mean? That he dives eyes closed into the internet, into the web, or that he prefers to be informed through the internet, but choosing what on the internet represents and means for him professional quality journalism, including news and including opinion. I think these are questions that there's a confusion about all this nowadays. When Eric Schmidt, who, as you know, is the CEO of Google, himself says that the internet is fast becoming a cesspool where false information thrives. And he adds that brands are the way to rise above the cesspool. And he also says, in a world of disinformation, which is the future, brands are the solution. What does that mean? And when in Portugal, our news channel, SIC Notícias, is for 9 consecutive years the leader in audiences of all the thematic channels broadcasted in Portugal, and that includes Sony AXN, it includes Fox Live, it includes children's channels, it includes sports channel, all the thematic channels, and we are leading it for 9 years. What does that mean? That we are wrong insisting in doing television and in doing news and opinion programs in what can be called the traditional way. Then are the so-called traditional publishers wrong because they believe that part of their content should be paid? And this is one very important item or problem of nowadays. You mentioned it too, saying it was not the only solution, but it's an important solution for us. And that we should do it either by creating paywalls or by reaching agreements with Google and other content aggregators who, until now, have used our contents for free. And that also means that intellectual property rights exist and that they cannot be forgotten. I think you were against the Google Books agreement in the United States, weren't you? Not the agreement, but at least all the discussion. So I'm sure you understand what I say. And if, as you say, the role of news organizations is to create value, not only for the consumer, but for the citizen and for society, shouldn't the functions of the media be clearly defined and separated, not put again in the same basket, instead of forcing a mixture, which to a certain extent you favor at the same time, with interactions, community engagements, and all that. And it would be interesting if you have time if you could tell us what is really for you this value for citizens, value for society. How can it be, I wouldn't say measured, but at least evaluated? And advertising. Of course, advertising, as we all are using the new opportunities offered by the new technologies. Why shouldn't news organizations, I'm using your expression in the book, news organizations, why shouldn't they be prepared to accompany this evolution in what concerns advertising? I think we are working together with advertising and with advertising agencies for centuries already. We are better maybe prepared than anybody else. And then accepting, and this is the political point I'd like also to raise, accepting, and as I think you do, that, and I accept that starting point too, that individuals may now choose between hundreds, thousands of TV stations, of radio stations, and millions of internet sites. That's obvious, it's true. What power of representation does that gives to those millions of sites, to those thousands of TV stations, and this fragmentation, which was already mentioned previously by Professor Faustino. And how can that legitimize power? In the way the media in modern society are a source of legitimation or legitimization, I don't know how you say it, of power. It's no more voting every 4 years. The responsible people holding power, or whatever power, political, economic, cultural, sports, are confronted permanently, daily, with the media questions. And they have to answer, and they have to be prepared, and they are judged accordingly.